fuck? Rate my. What kind of shit is this? Failed broadcast. Mine's technical difficulties. Welcome one, welcome all. Sorry, just dealing with issues. Oh my goodness. This is perplexing. I'm trying to get this last stream going. Says I'm live. I don't know. Okay, uptime 5 seconds. Okay, so we're live. It appears. Um, I had to stop using Rumble because the last few live shows I had issues with, and then I thought I was having issues with this other platform. Um, but yeah, I was starting to think it might be my phone. But yeah, yeah, seems like we're going. I have no idea how valid that is, but I see people popping up on IG. But yeah, I almost missed today. It's a beautiful day. Uh, it was out earlier, Manny Petty Day and whatnot, and yeah, and I've been caught up. I've been playing a new game. I was playing the Zelda Do It Live. Fucking right, we're doing it live, all the way live, baby. Yeah, so I've been entertaining myself with the video game, and that's like the first time I ever bought a game the week it came out in a very fucking long time. Um, so yeah, that just says a lot. But um, yeah, now we got like writers on strike, so it's a lot of shows that you might be into. They don't have the writers; they aren't paying them well. CEO of the companies make way more money than the writers, and the CEOs and production. What is it? The expensive middlemen who contribute nothing to making the shows you like. They're like milking these companies for all this money, depriving the writers of your favorite shows um, of a decent living. And it's a reason why. I feel like the writers kind of wrote themselves into a corner. I mean, really, it's greed that did it. But um, I think the writers. I mean, yes, Chat GPT, AI, doing all that stuff. It's playing a part in it. But I think the big part, the big issue with why the writers made themselves worth a lot less is because yeah, everything is a sequel. Everything is like it's building on old ass series. You got Star Wars. You got May the 4th is dedicated to Star Wars. Old ass franchise that got bought up by the empire of Disney. Uh, and they don't have to do anything creative. People are just gonna watch it, and they can just put into Chat GPT like, hey, make a Star Wars story that has like a baby Chewbacca, and then like they'll just write up some bullshit. And that's pretty much what writers are doing. I mean, like I enjoy quality writing. I was like listening to a podcast. It had one of the writers. He was a writer for a show I enjoy, Leverage. I like Leverage because it's like um, the crew in the show they go after rich people. It's like a team of crooks who only target rich people. It's like modern day Robin Hood, and they draw from like stories from the actual news. So I find that interesting because it gives people a way of um, seeing a world, where the actual criminals get targeted. They go broke. They do some jail time. But most shows are just garbage. And it's garbage because like the middlemen who do nothing, they have the final say on anything. That was like one of the more frustrating things when I was in LA. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to appease these people who, like, they offer nothing. They're not like acting. They're not writing. Like, like they're not doing anything on the creative side, but they have to green light everything. And it's usually Harvey Weinstein types, like sexual predators, uh, who want people beneath them, like desperate for a role, so they try to stick their role inside of people. um, and I think that's just like inherently terrible way of running things. 1 second. Bowser. Sorry, we got a dog going ape shit. But yeah, uh, yeah. So it's just, I mean, I'm not knocking the writers necessarily. I think the production companies, their goal is to get intellectual property that they didn't create. They got it from some creative person from back in the day. Like they bought up, uh, like I was talking about Star Wars, bought up Marvel, shit that's been around for generations. And they know they got like an old fan base that's like looking to share it with their youngins. And by the time you got a parent sharing this intellectual property with their children, it's like a church at that point. It's like a religion. It's like these old stories being handed down to the next generation. Um, yeah, so it's just they don't feel like they need good writers. They just need that IP. And I think we need to abolish all these um, companies' rights to have it. Like a giant corporation shouldn't be able to own the intellectual property rights, depriving people. Because they're, my big beef I had with like companies like Jukin Media, Rightster, um, it just like expanded. I mean, I made my voice heard, but they got way more money than me, way more power. They're definitely closer to the people at YouTube, because YouTube is run by the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, Operation Mockingbird. That was their plan to control the media, and they do. They get billions of dollars to be able to buy up this stuff. Like they erode um, public public usage of it. So it used to be like IP came out, they could make as much money off of it for like 50 years. Then like you anybody could use it. It became public domain. Companies like Disney ended that, and then they started buying up these old ass intellectual properties, right? And now they're making $1 billion off of these fucking old ass characters that they had no part in creating, and everybody who works under them is like starving. The people who make the most money are the chairs, the people who sit in offices and decide how to fuck over the pensioners. Like we steal their pension right now, or we do it slowly, and of course they do it quickly. But yeah, and it's just like the people who wrote all that stuff. Like I'm sure they had like all these things, like like I had a piece of theater, my first play that I wrote. Uh, I had no creative control in it. Director ended up cutting scenes and all kinds of shit because it was subversive. And yeah, it gets to a point where they just like they want elements of what you wrote. They want those elements, but then like the part that really connects with people, um, they want to cut that shit out. Because like yeah, the theaters I worked for, they were funded by people like Bill Gates. Um, same people who run YouTube got shut down there, lost 4 channels there. So it's just like yeah, like I I understand it's difficult for writers to have that freedom. You have to really make a name for yourself. But like just making remakes and rehashes and continuing on these old ass storylines and shit. I mean, I miss the days when you could watch it like movies were new. Like you can see some new character you never heard of and have your mind blown because like you couldn't see anything coming. Um, Now it's just like the kind of shit that gets made right now. It's easy for a robot to remake it. It's just like just swap out Baby Yoda for a baby Ewok. Hello, what it do, Betty Confetti? Yeah, we're talking about the writer strike and fucked over labor in general. Because I was also a part of a teacher strike or faculty strike at my school. Because they were, like it's just like I said, it's greedy middlemen, businessmen, business people now. Because anybody will fuck you. They'll like bring in a diverse array of people to fuck you over. Wide swath of genders, colors, all that shit. They just all serve corporate purpose, and then they celebrate that kind of diversity while they rob the overwhelming majority of people. Hey, bro, how you doing? I'm golden as a goose. I'm enjoying this lovely weather. Uh, I got I had issues live streaming on Rumble, which is where I upload most of my new videos to put on NatesVlogs.net. Um, so yeah, I'm like streaming on different all the places I'm streaming are censor sites where I've had issues with censorship. Oh yeah, they remaking a lot of movies. Yeah, they're remaking all movies. Just yeah, I mean like fucking. You look at something like Spider-Man. That shit has been. They had three different Spider-Man since 2000. Like they remade that whole series three different fucking times. Why? Because it's profitable. It's just easy to like I said, it's easy for a robot to do that kind of shit. Um, well, yeah, and well, another kind of worker that's like being fucked over. I keep hearing about is immigrant workers, right? So it's like this whole dust up over immigrants again. I mean, it never really stopped, but it's like intensifying. They're talking about like we got to do something about these immigrants. Usually, they're immigrating from countries that we ravaged with our fucking bombs. We overthrew their elected governments, put in like psychopaths who maraud the streets, killing people. Then they come over here, and then they do the jobs that we don't want to do, right? They farm, do all kinds of shit, get paid next to nothing. A lot of times they just set up actual slaves. Like in Georgia, they had a bunch of immigrants who ended up just being enslaved because they'll have you working. They'll be like, that check is coming. Your check never comes, right? Then we got these immigration laws that greatly benefit corporations because when they hire illegal immigrants, the people who should be getting in trouble is the corporation that did the hiring, right? They should be like, oh, you motherfuckers hired these illegal people. You need to be arrested, right? But we go after the immigrant so they can't complain when they don't get paid. And they got all these facilities, for-profit facilities to lock them up. That the companies that are fucking them over are probably also own, or at least they own stock in. Um, and Yeah, so like there's no mechanisms for them to fight back. So these corporations, like they could, like someone like Bill Gates, he owns 51% of the farmland in America, right? And his companies, I'm fairly sure they hire mostly immigrants to tend that farmland, right? And yeah, they got all these state enforced mechanisms that we pay for, that basically the overseers, like when they get out of line, they start getting uppity, wanting to get a paycheck. We lock them up, and then they make money hand over fist while they're locked up too. So it's like, I would like to see the corporations that do the hiring being locked up. Let's just spend all that money that we're giving on these corporations and creating these laws uh, to persecute these poor people who are just fleeing the violence that we inflict on them. I like to see all that money instead being spent on locally owned businesses, locally owned exclusive businesses. So it's like, you can't get a penny of tax revenue if you're a corporation. Matter of fact, you have to start paying that shit back, because what they end up doing with all that welfare that they steal from us through our taxes is they hide that shit in a tax haven to avoid paying taxes, even though they get all their money from taxes. You know, um, and then they say they're philanthropists, which is the biggest scam. And I work with someone who hit me to one particular artist. It was a cat. I don't know if you've heard of him, Sir Mix-a-Lot. He's like big in Seattle, but he didn't pay his DJ at all when his shit blew up. Um, I like big butts. He didn't pay his DJ at all. Period. And then he claims to be a philanthropist. And I didn't know any of this shit. But anytime I hear someone say that they're a philanthropist, it's like, hide your wallet because they're robbing us, right? They're that's like a tax scam. Um, but yeah, that's like pretty much all the billionaires. Uh, Bill Gates is a proud child philanthropist. He loves giving to children, and I just, all those trips to Epstein Island got me questioning, what does he love giving to these children exactly? Be specific, because I wouldn't trust my kids to get access to it, because I don't know if I found out that I had a kid who was at Virgin Island with a bunch of philanthropists like Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. That's concerning. It's like, yeah, I would like to fly there and get a look at what they're doing. I see. When did the strike begin? The strike it's been going on for a few weeks now. Yeah, but they had a similar strike back in 2011, and that's when I was hip to the game of reality TV shows. Cause I used to love reality TV shows. I even been on a few. I helped friends do some of theirs. It's the fakest shit in the world. It is like my friends had their reality show. It was supposed to be about their lives. They had fake neighbors. I was like one of the only people who knew them, like actually on the set. And yeah, but yeah, reality TV shows were constructed. They got all these teams of writers, but it's set up to fuck over the writers because they're not really writing. Like they're just setting up scenarios and stuff like that. The editors and all that shit. Editing is kind of like writing because they take the stuff you say and they create a narrative. That's a form of writing. But all this is constructed in a way to be able to pay the writer less because they're like, yeah, you're not really writing. You're just coming up with ideas. And they could, like the producers can pitch stuff and like, well, what do we got to do to get these chicks naked? Why don't we have them go to like a strip club and that's they're just spitballing, but it's still a form of writing. And yeah, reality TV shows, they're a cancer to writing and just television because people think that's real. That's why it's, I know a few people. I'm always shocked when I hear people who actually watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because I mean I hear about it in the ether. It's like one of those things. I never watched the fucking show, but how can you not hear about it? They got the Caitlyn Jenners and I don't know any of the other people. It's like Kim Kardashian. She's got sisters and siblings, but I don't keep up with any of that shit. But yeah, it's a horrible thing for culture. And yeah, even worse for writers. I'm gonna say worse for culture. Writers are just getting fucked up in the process too. Um, I'm sick of remakes. Join the club. Nah, yeah, because I was like trying to find this old video because I thought I put it on my tech channel. I had a similar video on my tech channel, but it was like um me like it was like a list of things I didn't want to see remade, right? Just the top five things I didn't want to see remade, and everything that I was like I don't want to see remade got remade. It was like Karate Kid. I think it was RoboCop. It was like a bunch of shit that I was just like, don't remake this shit. Just leave it alone. And everything got remade. Uh, and then everything got a prequel, and it's just got a series. And yeah, it's just like, when does it end? Are we gonna do anything uh, new? Is there gonna be anything original anymore? It's like, well, it was like a quote I heard from Quentin Tarantino. He was like, yeah, some of the Marvel superheroes, the stars of the Marvel movies, they're not movie stars, right? We really don't have movie stars. It's not like someone who you just know that that person's in the movie and you be like, I got to see that, you know. Um, I mean, you think on it, but it's not like someone who could just sell out a movie just for being in the fucking movie anymore. It used to be like you would have to like you would have to trust like the actor or the writer or somebody on the thing to just put out quality content to not sell out for the big paycheck and just like put good shit out. But yeah, now everybody sells out. Uh, like you could be getting total garbage. There's a few people who I used to like. I used to wait for their movies. Like I used to. Nicolas Cage used to be someone who I'm like, ooh, he's gonna play like some interesting character. It's gonna be like a hint of action, or like some compelling story or something. He's gonna like make it all interesting. Then Ghost Rider, the movie came out. I was like, nope, nope. Then it was like Wicker Man. Still didn't see that because I got too much respect for him to see such an abomination. But yeah, it's really no movie stars like the people who get seen by millions of people now. It's just like they're going to see the intellectual property that the corporation owns, and they don't give a shit if it has good writing. They just know that you're going to see it because it's the new Star Wars thing or the new Marvel thing. Uh, they don't have to give a shit about the writer, the actor, none of that stuff. It's all irrelevant. And they're remaking the Fantastic Four too. Yeah, yeah, because the first iterations did so well. Everyone's just hankering for some Fantastic Four. I mean, like just be honest. The Fantastic Four. I mean, I love comics. That was, yeah, they're like, I was gonna say B-listers, like D-listers. They're like bottom rung of heroes I would want to see. Um, I mean, if anything, they should do Doctor Doom. Because I mean, in the comics, they have like this whole story arc where, you know, when it was a character who went into alternate reality where Doctor Doom had like all this power, and he just built this amazing society, and his whole goal was altruistic, and he was just trying to make people's lives better. Um, but then he goes about it in some real heinous ways. Um, so it would be nice that if they had like a story where they fleshed that out, or did something similar with Magneto. Or I'm just giving it the stuff that some producer could put in Chat GPT and get them to write it and make millions of dollars, depriving a writer of a livable wage. But yeah, no, Fantastic Four is like, yeah, it's like I went and saw the first run of the movie. I barely wanted to watch it. I was just like, Marvel. I had to see. I grew up with Marvel. I still got hella Marvel comic cards. But yeah, Marvel. They definitely sold out. Sold to the Empire, the big evil company that is Disney. Like in the comic books I grew up with, Disney would be the villain, and now they own all the IP for Marvel. Um, yeah, so that's I used to like uh, go to midnight premieres of those movies, and yeah, I just tuned out. Sometimes I'll see it if it's streaming. Usually, not too impressed, but more power to them. Hey Nate, what it do, Christian or Dayton? Um, Welcome to the chat cave. Oh yes, Batman. Oh yeah, I got something for you. Oh shit. Where's that? Oh, it's not here. I think it's upstairs. I got like a batarang from the play I wrote last year. Um, yeah, because it deals with a Batman-like character. It's Bat Doofus. Uh, well, it didn't call him Batman, obviously, for didn't want to pay intellectual property rights. But yeah, it was basically Batman, and just showed all the flaws in the idea of a billionaire running around beating up poor people who are um, stealing so they could survive. He'd be a lot better hero if he just like paid livable wages to his employees. Set up programs to help the disenfranchised. But he's instead uh, a good amount of the villains on Batman worked for Batman. So he's the one who turns him bad, and then he's working with the military, the government, creating weapons of destruction. Bad guys get a hold of it, and yeah, they cause chaos. And he owns the Arkham Asylum. Uh, that's why he always locks these people up. They always get free because he installs janky ass bars for the jail cells, so they're always gonna get free, and so he gets money locking them up, and then money pursuing them. It's he's double fisting it. That's why he's so rich, and he doesn't want to share with the community. Back then, Martin and Will Smith would always have me sold on any movie, but now the character in the movie that we are interested in. I noticed that, not the stars in it. Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw a good amount of Martin movies. Was it? Yeah, it was in theaters. I saw Thin Line Between Love and Hate multiple times. I was also young, and they had like a boob flash, and that got added to the Spank Bank. I think I saw the first Bad Boys in theaters, in Independence Day, all that stuff. But yeah, it just yeah. But they, was it Martin definitely jumped the shark. By the time was it Big Mama's House came out, I was just like, no, no way, Jose. I think the last movie I saw of Martin in theaters was Blue Streak. I was like a grip ago, but more power to him. I saw what is it um, the movie he did with Chris Rock, Four Funerals or something. Something about funerals. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Um, yeah, but yeah, he's not one of those people who I would just jump up to go see because I mean, some people it's clear they do it for a paycheck. It's what was it watching the show Barry, got caught up with the new episode, and they had like they were doing basically like a Wonder Woman like character, like a Justice League type situation. And it was like the character was like, "Oh, I love that one movie you did," and then the lady who was working on the Justice League knockoff, she was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that was like artistic, like they were allowed to be vulnerable, all this stuff." Yeah, that's what I want people to say. I want them to associate that movie with this movie. She was saying it like sarcastically, understanding that she was working on a piece of shit. Because sometimes it could be just that paycheck big enough to just sway you. But like I really don't understand. Like if you got over $10 million, right? That's enough to live off of, right? If you should be comfortable in your legacy enough where you can turn down money. You know, you should be able to be like, I got, I'm living comfortably off of this. I got everything I need right now. What is an extra 20 million when I could live off the interest on this. Especially I'm gonna be tied to this garbage piece of trite. Um, but then again, I haven't gotten one of those $20 million offers. I mean, if I got it right now, you know, like I don't have $10 million, so it's justified for me or someone in my position. I feel, but like you got 100 million, like Nicolas Cage. I hear he has like a gambling issue because I know he had several $1 million when he started like picking up real garbage, which was clearly done for the money. Um, but yeah, you would think that he would just be, you would hope that he would be able to just turn shit down, but he might just be dealing with multiple addictions that we don't know about. But still, have some control. Um, and mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I started mad late. I wasn't hoping to go past 8 today. Already broke that, but I do want to figure out what I'm gonna have for dinner because supposed to be going somewhere tonight. Mm, maybe dancing or something with the old lady. Um, so I'm gonna transition to that. But I appreciate you guys showing up, and I'm sorry for making the live show so late. Was not my intention. I almost neglected to do it, but I'm a continue this doing it on Saturdays. I'm just gonna do it earlier next time. Start around 5, no later than 6 next week. Oh shit. Well, I'm gonna have to evaluate that because I also got like this opportunity to be a part of this musical experience next week, and I might do it earlier or yeah, 'cause I think Saturday is the day of the show. So yeah, so I think we go in at 9. So I might be I think I'll still be able to do it earlier. So yeah, so 5. Because this time next week I'll be on my way to a city that's about an hour away from me. So um, thank y'all for showing up. Um, respect all workers and fuck the corporate middlemen who are depriving them a living wage. If you're a writer, fruit picker, a teacher, whoever, it's just, yeah, we need to do away with all the corporations raping us. So, in the corporation, and yeah, fight the power. Peace. Oh, in the video. And of course, you're out.